Welcome. I'm Jacob Polacheck, and I'm joined by national recruiting expert at On3 Sports, Joe Tipton, here to talk about the new NIL legislation in the NCAA. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Jacob. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. I appreciate you coming on. So, obviously, this name, image, and likeness legislation in the NCAA is all the talk. Overall, you mind just telling us a little bit about your background and what you know about this new legislation coming to the NCAA?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started a page on Instagram called Tipton Edits, and basically it's turned into the go-to spot for top high school basketball players regarding their top schools or college commitments. So with that, I have a relationship with a lot of the top guys that now are able to capitalize off their name, image, and likeness. And the feedback that I've received from them is absolutely tremendously positive. They're super excited to finally be able to make some money. But they also, at the same time, they want to make sure that they're still focused on number one, school, and then number two, basketball. And this just kind of be like a side hustle to make a little bit extra money on the side. But they're really looking forward to it. And, the gates are about to break open, they already have. And it's going to be awesome to see.
So you said they're really excited for it. You have been talking to a number of high school recruits that are commenting on this NIL legislation?
Yes. So I've talked to college guys and high school guys as well. And one question they have is, high school guys specifically, is can high school guys do this as well? And I don't have specifics on that, but I know high school guys have already started to do it. Since they will be future NCAA athletes, I think they're viewing it kind of the same. Oh, I'm going to be a future college player. College players can do it, so can I. So I think they're treating it as that way. And of course, the NCAA, they don't necessarily watch over the high school guys. They're more concerned about their own college athletes. So, but I don't see a problem with any of it. And I'm just happy for the guys being able to make some money finally.
And I know on your page, Tipton Edits, you have promoted some programs such as Clean Connect that help amateur athletes get paid. What have been some of the programs, some of the companies that are helping athletes make the most of this new NIL legislation?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if I can share the name of the companies yet. I don't know, because we just launched today officially. So I'm not sure I can say some of the names, but it's a variety of companies. It's, clothing, it's, established brands, it's shoe companies, it's people that put out any type of products, any types of, anything related that the players are interested in. And basically Clean Connect is a marketplace for players to kind of receive offers from these brands, from these companies. They'll say, we'll offer you $100 if you post this. They either accept or counter offer, and then Clean Connect handles that all on the back end. So players aren't having to manage all of those DMs and also risk being an illegitimate business. Clean Connect verifies them and makes sure that they get paid.
And like I said, today is July 1st, so we're still watching this all unfold. What are some of the things that you're looking at now as this July 1st date comes in? What are some of the things that you're interested to see?
The main thing I'm interested to see is how much regulation there will be within the college programs. I know some schools have hired companies in order to manage this. Agents are being brought in. You saw the Cavender twins, they just signed a deal with Boost Mobile. It'll be interesting to see what schools kind of keep tabs on this, make sure their players are promoting the right products, the right brands that represent them in the school. Hopefully a lot of common sense will just come in there, and the players will know, let me not promote this company or that company if it's something that doesn't look right for their personal brand. But it'll be interesting to see how it's all managed, and if they just get free reign, and how it all handles, and also how the players handle it as well within the locker room. I've seen a lot of talk about people will say, if so-and-so will make more than the other player, and there's going to be some jealousy involved. But I understand that thought process, but I'm not too sold on that, because To a certain extent, it's been like that because more players, the top players, have always received more attention. Zion Williamson, RJ, Trey, Cam, they always receive more attention than Joey Baker. The guy that's like on the end, towards the end of the bench, or that didn't have the star-studded status. So there's always been kind of a comparison game, but I get it that it's different now that it's monetarily involved, and one player could be making more than the other. But hopefully there will be a focus on school and sport first and foremost, and then this kind of just be, on the side.
And then as a recruiting analyst, a recruiting expert yourself, there has been a lot of talk about the NCAA compared to these new emerging leagues, such as the G League Ignite, Overtime Elite. Do you feel that this NCAA legislation helps the NCAA compete with these leagues, or do you think it may dissuade players from going the NCAA route?
I think if anything, it will encourage players, at least the top players that can make more money in college. Of course, we don't know the exact, we've seen estimates with the value of NIL. I remember I put out a post with Mikey Williams. He was worth $2 million. That was their estimate for NIL. If Overtime Elite or the G League or whatever offers him 1 million, and if Duke is saying that he can get 2 million there off his name, image, and likeness, then obviously he's going to choose the higher number. But we just don't know for a fact, the actual value, how much players can bring in. Some players will say you can, even the top 5-star recruits can only make $50,000, their freshman year in college, and then others are saying, oh, you can make 500,000 here. And then that's where it gets a little loosey goosey, where there's concern when it comes to recruiting amongst coaches. They might stretch the truth a bit because they actually don't know. Because I've listened to several podcasts with college coaches, top assistants online, and a lot of them are just kind of like, we're just figuring it out as we go. Unless these brands start approaching players and then they can get a more feel for it, which will come in time. But it'll be exciting to see. It's going to be a little bit of a bumpy road, but it's an exciting one as well.
As we enter this July 1st date, how does your job change as a recruiting analyst, as a person with such relationships with players?
Well, I'll definitely have to be knowledgeable on the topic, because a lot of the time players come to me for advice on, things that, because they know I've been in the game, the recruiting space for so long. They know I have relationships with certain coaches that they may not have, things of that nature. They're probably going to come with me questions like, what do you think about what they're saying? Do you think what this coach is saying is true? Do you think what this company is saying is true? How do I know this is legitimate? Things like that. So I'm sure they'll reach out to me and kind of trust my judgment, because I think they know my reputation and credibility, and that I'll be honest with them and keep it 100 with them. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. For example, if Overtime wants to host a player for their commitment, and they're gonna slide them $5,000 for coming on and announcing with them. It'll be interesting how that goes. But it's exciting. I'm excited to see, because it's a whole new world that's opening up.
Well, Joe, I always love talking to you. I appreciate you coming on today. Let people know where they can find you on social media and where they can find your work.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Twitter, it's @TiptonEdits, and then on Instagram, it's @Tipton.edits. And you can also find me at On3 and On3 Sports.
Excited to follow along. Thank you, Joe. Have a great day.